What is up, you guys? I'm going to start a new series today where we look at every MLB game on the daily slate, and I try to place a bet on who I think is going to win each game. Today is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. So far in the month of June, I'm 63-40 on doing this. I did take a couple of days off last week, but on the days that we've been doing it, for the most part, we've been over 500, we've been profitable, and I want to keep that streak going. So our first game on today's slate, we have Miami at Pitt. I think if we look at this, Pitt is favored on the spread. If we look further, Miami so far in the last 10 games has kind of been sputtering. They've only won 3 of their last 10. However, 2 of those have been when they were on the plus side of the spread. Pitt, however, has been doing fairly well in the last 10 games. They came off of sweeping Philly before playing Miami. They did lose the series to the Astros, but sweeping Philly is a pretty large feat. If we look at head-to-head, so far this season, Miami's already clinched the season series, so they really have no major incentive to winning this game unless they are close in standings in their division. I don't take that into account when I'm looking at who I think is going to win each game, but I do think that momentum, given the last 10 and the fact that Miami's already won the series, they clinched it last night with their 3-2 win, I think that Pittsburgh is going to win this one. Our second game is going to be the Cubs against the Phillies. The Phillies are on the plus side of the spread, and they're more likely to cover against the spread. If we look more in depth, we know, because we were talking about the Phillies just a minute ago, they did just get swept by the Pirates, which Philly is a fairly good team, so that's a little off-putting. Philly, I said they're a good team, but they're kind of sputtering just a little bit. They beat Cincy. They won the series in Washington. They did lose the series in Detroit, but Detroit's been a really surprising team. And this is Chicago, not Philly. My bad. I clicked the wrong button. And if we look, today's going to be a rubber match for the Cubs-Phillies series, at least for this time around. If we look at Philly, they have been really sputtering. Yes, they are overall a good team. Maybe I just say that because they beat my Guardians, but overall they're a pretty good team. They have not won a series in a while, though. If we look head-to-head, this is the second time they have played each other, and this is going to be actually the overall rubber match of the series. So if Chicago wins it here, they can tie the season series. I think, looking at the streak that Chicago has been on and the streak that the Phillies have been on, Chicago being the Pope's team, I think they're going to win this one. Reds and Guardians, I might be a little bit biased on this one because, like I said, I am a Guardians fan. However, if you look over here, I've picked the Reds to win every single time so far, and every single time I have been right. So while I am biased, it doesn't play into my picks. So, if we look, Cincinnati is favored in the spread. Cleveland is more likely to cover the spread, meaning that, according to data analytics, the game is going to be close. If we look at Cincy, they have been rolling. They lost the series against Chicago. They lost the series against Milwaukee. They have not lost a game since. They've won 5 of their last 10. Cleveland, on the other hand, has not been doing so hot. They've only won 1, 2, 3, 4. They've only won 4 of their last 10. They lost the series against Houston. They lost the series against New York. They won the series against the Angels, which doesn't say a whole lot. They've already lost the series against Cincinnati. They've already lost the Ohio Cup this year. Actually, they haven't beat Cincinnati yet this year. And I think because they're going to be coming in with that chip on their shoulder, Cincinnati has their old manager and Terry Francona, I think the Guardians are finally going to squeak out one win so they don't get fully swept by Cincinnati. Our fourth game on the docket is going to be the Braves against the Brewers. The Braves are favored in the spread, whereas the Brewers are more likely to cover the spread, meaning we've got yet another close game. If we scroll down to the last 10, the Braves have not done good. They've only won 2 of their last 10 games. Brewers, on the other hand, which I'm starting to get a cold, so you'll hear me sniffling a little bit. Brewers have kind of been on a hot streak. They've lost a couple games here and there. They lost the series against San Diego, and this is going to be the rubber match for this series. If we look head to head, this is their first time playing this season. They'll play again later this season. So this will be the rubber match for this time around. And if we once again go back to here, yes, they did lose against San Diego, but the Brewers are really good at not losing an overall series. And so with that, I'm going to take the Brewers to win this one. Blue Jays, Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored on the spread. However, the Blue Jays are favored to hit it. Seems to be a very common theme here. If we look at the last 10 games, I always scroll right past it. If we look at the last 10 games for the Blue Jays, they've kind of been rolling. They've only lost 2 of their last 10. They've already won the series for this time around. The Cardinals, on the other hand, have won 4 of their last 10. So almost the opposite of the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have been steamrolling. If we look head to head, this is the first time they've played each other so far this year, but if we look at last year, Toronto won the series overall. I think they're going to clinch at least tying the series. However, I don't think that's going to happen today. I do think St. Louis bounces back here. They're not going to get swept at home. So I took the Cardinals to win. Next up, we have the Seattle Mariners and the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Mariners are favored here against the spread, whereas the Diamondbacks are going to be more likely to cover it. I think I'm going to stop talking about that because I feel like I'm saying the same thing for every game. If you look at Seattle's head-to-head, they have been really sputtering. They've won 3 of their last 10. 2 of those were games 9 and 10 against the Twins, which are a fairly good team. But if we look, they got swept by Baltimore, which says a lot. They lost the series to the Angels. So overall, not looking too hot for them. If we look at the Diamondbacks, on the other hand, they got swept by Cincinnati, which a couple years ago I would have said was really sad. But Cincinnati is actually proving to be a competitive team this year with Terry Francona. They swept the Braves. They went 1-1 against Washington. I'm going to have to look and see who won that series overall. I'll check later. But they have a chance, Arizona has a chance to sweep the series against Seattle. If we look, this is the first time playing this year. Last year, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Last year, Seattle won the series. The year before, Seattle won the series. This one was kind of tough, but I did end up taking Arizona. I just don't think they are going to lose today. Seattle's won the series the last couple of years, and Seattle is really good at getting swept when they lose. So I think Arizona's going to pull this one out. Next, we have the Athletics and the Angels. It's probably the match that nobody wants to watch. 2 of the most mid teams in the league. I say that being a Guards fan. But if we take a look, the Athletics have won 1, 2, 3. They've won 3 of their last 10. The Angels have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their last 10. So overall, they're looking a lot better on this streak here. If we take a look at the series history, this is all from this year. Angels have swept. They have a chance to sweep the overall season series today, and I think they're going to do it. I took the Angels on this one. This one was kind of a shot in the dark because they are two very mid teams. I don't know a whole lot about them because I don't really want to pay attention to them. Next up, we have the Dodgers and Padres. It's going to be a good one. If we look at the last 10 here, we have, the Dodgers have been not doing as well as I thought they would. They tied the series against the Mets. They lost the series against the Cardinals. Today is a rubber match with the Padres. The Padres, on the other hand, they beat the Brewers. They tied with the Giants. And if we look at head-to-head, so far, this is their first series this year. So this will be a rubber match going into the break. If we look in playoffs when it mattered, obviously the Dodgers won that series. And in the regular season, the Dodgers also won their last series. However, that was last year. But I think the Dodgers didn't make a whole lot of changes over the spring training and over the offseason. I think Dodgers pull this one out, win the series. Tigers-Orioles, this one should be a fairly gimme game if you think about it. Tigers are a really good team. They're 44-24. Baltimore, The Tigers have been on a mid streak. They've kind of been going back and forth. Currently they are 1-0 against Baltimore. Baltimore, on the other hand, has been kind of hot, honestly. Like, yeah, they have a really bad record, but they swept the White Sox, which doesn't say much. They swept the Mariners, which, again, doesn't say a whole lot. They lost the series to the Athletics, though, which kind of makes me a little nervous. They did lose last night, and if we look, they got swept in Detroit earlier this year. They actually have not beaten the Tigers since September 20th of last year, and they went 2-4 against the Tigers last year. And I think in order for them to bounce back and go 2-4 again, they're going to have to pick it up, and I think that they do pick it up today. I picked the Orioles to win. Next, we have the Nationals and the Mets. For this one, if we take a look, honestly, first time I looked at this one, I took the Mets just looking at the records. Washington's under 500. The Mets are the Mets. So I took the Mets on that one. There wasn't really a whole lot of thought behind that one. The Rays and the Red Sox, this one I was kind of back and forth on. Initially, I took the Red Sox just by the name factor. But looking at their records, the Red Sox have been killing me this year. They do have Walker Buehler starting, who I thought was really good. He was really good on my Diamond Dynasty team, but he's actually 4-for-4. He has a 5.18 ERA, which is not great for the major leagues. Anyway, this is going to be the rubber match today. If we look at Tampa Bay, they have not lost a series in a while. If we look at the Red Sox, they beat the Yankees. They lost the series to the Angels. They are such a back and forth team. They make it really hard. But I think they're going to pull it out here because when it matters, they do pull through. It's just when it doesn't matter that they don't. The Rangers Twins is our next game. And, I clicked the wrong one. I'll keep that one up. Rangers Twins is our next game. If we look at the records, this one is another fairly easy pick. The Rangers are back and forth. They either win a lot or they lose a lot. They don't really go back and forth fairly quickly. They go on streaks. Minnesota, can't really say a whole lot. They lost to Toronto, which is a really good team this year. They beat the Athletics, which is a really bad team this year. They lost to the Mariners, which is not a great team this year, which made it a little bit difficult. If we look at the series last year, the Twins actually won the series. which surprised me. I know I'm a Guardians fan and I kind of hate the Twins, but I think they're going to lose this game. And that's probably my Guardians bias coming out, but I do think the Rangers will pull this one off. Next, we have the Yankees and the Royals. I am an Aaron Judge glazer. And I almost always pick the Yankees to win because of Aaron Judge, and they haven't really failed me yet, so I'm just going to keep riding that train until it sputters out and dies. Next game, we have the White Sox and Astros. Should be a fairly gimme game. You have the Astros, who are historically known as a fairly good team. They're over 500. And you have the White Sox, who I play as my warm-up game in MLB The Show because they are that bad. Obviously, took the Astros. Our nightcap game, we have the Giants and the Rockies. Fairly mid of a nightcap game, if you ask me. We have the Giants, who are well over 500. They are competing in their division. And then you have the Rockies, who I think in the month of May, the Nuggets won more games than the Rockies. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But kind of wild. That being said, Giants on that one. That one's kind of a no-brainer. So that's my slate for today. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're tailing, if you're not tailing. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.